My wife's donor was here last week, and I was jaunting all over the country. I'm about to make another trip halfway across the country to watch the first place Baltimore Ravens take on the 8-1 upstart Dallas Cowboys with that rookie quarterback. This guy has seen just about everything there is to see in Big D, longtime Dallas sports writer, Hall of Fame voter, and of course, Dallas Morning News forever, and draft expert as well as now overall columnist. He even gets to see the Rangers and the Stars and even my new Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki once in a while. He is Rick Goose Goslin. We welcome him back from the Big D, where the Cowboys are all the rage down there in Dallas now, aren't they, Goose?
Well, they're always all the rage, but when they're good, they're really on the rage. Everybody's on the bandwagon. They're talking Super Bowl. They don't see the Ravens. They don't see the Seahawks. All they see is that Lombardi Trophy in February.
Well, and maybe with good reason, right? So many, many times you and I have gotten together over the years and talked on the radio about Jimmy Johnson and about Troy Aikman and about the last 2 decades, right, and Jerry being in charge and Jerry being the guy who buys the dishes, washes the dishes, gets the groceries, makes the meals. And now at 8-1, I don't hear any praise coming Jerry's way all of a sudden. It's all about Dak Prescott, right?
Yeah, it's with Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. I mean, this could be one of the all-time great drafts to get a franchise quarterback and a franchise running back. This is like getting Aikman and Smith together, and these two kids have been special. You know, I'm not surprised at Elliott. He was the 4th pick of the draft. He was a great running back in college. He's been a great running back here. But Prescott, I mean, he was a 4th-round draft pick. He was the 8th quarterback taken. A lot of passers went before the Cowboys got to him. And the Cowboys tried to trade up in the 1st round to get Paxton Lynch. They tried to trade up in the 4th round to get Connor Cook, and they took Prescott almost as a consolation prize, and it's been a pretty good consolation prize.
What is it about him? I mean, we always try to put our finger on it. I remember 15 years ago, back when I was syndicated, and this Tom Brady kid took over for Bledsoe, a kid who couldn't even get on the field at Michigan. A kid that was a throwaway in the 6th round as just a kid that was going to, sit at the end of the bench and toss some passes around in August. And we're still 15 years later trying to put our finger on the Tom Brady thing. And with Prescott, the Romo press conference was as unique as anything I've seen in sports in recent memory.
Yeah, because Romo had been humbled. But here's a guy who expected to quarterback this team and have success with this team. And now, last time he was on the field for full season, he was the NFL passing champion and a Pro Bowl quarterback. And inside of 5 games, he's lost his job. And I think the fire in Romo burns brighter now than it did in August, because he's seen what this rookie quarterback has done with his team, and he can envision himself on the field in that lineup doing the same things and more. Because this has not been a great passing team with Prescott, great running team. He's been a functional passer, but with Romo, the ability to throw for the 340 yards and 3 and 4 touchdown games, I think Romo feels the team could even be more special with him on the field. But he concedes that Prescott has done nothing to except earn the job. They're 8-1. Romo's never gone 8-1. Aikman never went 8-1. I don't think Staubach ever went 8-1. And this kid has earned the right to be the quarterback of this team. And I think this is Tony Romo said, "I'm not going to rock the boat. He's going to be a good team player. I think he's the backup, and next year I think he's playing elsewhere."
Where is what makes Prescott special at this point, and what did they see in him as the 8th quarterback that would lead anyone to believe they could be in this position here as we get up on Thanksgiving?
Well, what they saw was a big, talented kid. A kid, you want a quarterback. Your prototypical quarterback is about 6'4", 225, 230. He's thick enough that he can take hits in the pocket. Well, this kid is thick enough to take hits in the pocket. And you look at the success he had at Mississippi State. There's a history of productivity. I mean, here's a kid that took Mississippi State to number 1 in the country. He won everything you see that he's doing now. He did in college. He doesn't throw interceptions. He won football games. He's a high percentage passer. We're seeing all that here. But what makes it special, him special at this level, in this league, is most rookie quarterbacks come in and turn the ball over. He doesn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw an interception in his first 5 games. He broke Tom Brady's record for most consecutive passes without an interception, basically to start his career. He wasn't beating himself. You're not asking a rookie quarterback to go out and win games. You're saying, don't beat yourself. Don't beat us. He hasn't. He does not turn the ball over. He's thrown 2 interceptions in these 9 games. and that's what makes him special. They got the read option going. He can make some plays with legs. Last week, he showed he could throw the deep ball on the Bryant catch. He's been a great fit in this offense with this running back.
Well, and the running back is special as well. And Goose Goslin joining us here. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at Rick Goslin, DMN, and at Sports Day, DFW. Of course, longtime columnist at the Dallas Morning News, as well as a Hall of Fame voter. And, you were one of the people who was a pioneer of the NFL draft and and selections and draft boards and all of that stuff over the last 25 years. And you've seen the running backs get devalued, right? I mean, because they don't last as long, they're not as durable, they're one knee away from not being in there. There have been a lot of busts at the running back position, maybe as many as at the quarterback position, quite frankly, if you go back through the history of the draft in the top 15 or top 20. And in the modern era, no one takes running backs with the 4th pick. And I know there was a little bit of malignment involved in that to say, well, we can get a running back in the 4th round. As it turned out, they could get a quarterback in the 4th round, Goose.
Right. And the thing about Elliott, you can get a running back, and you're right, you can get a guy in the 3rd and 4th round who can come in and get 100-yard rushing games. But every once in a while, a special back comes along, whether it's Adrian Peterson or Eric Dickerson or Barry Sanders, in this case, Ezekiel Elliott. You don't let those guys slide. I think what we've seen in football is a lot of offensive gurus that have turned this into a passing league. There's never been an offensive guru who called handoffs. They all want to show us how smart they are and how creative they are by putting the football in the air. That's why the new breed of NFL owners, they want to hire offensive coaches because they want exciting football. But the bottom line is running the ball and playing defense still wins, and still wins big in this league. The defensive coaches, the Pete Carrolls, the Bill Belichick, the Cowers, the Dungies, those are the guys, even the Harbaughs, those are the guys that win championships, not the offensive guys. And I do think you're going to see the pendulum start swinging back toward the running back. I think the Cowboys kind of nudged that pendulum in 2014 when they went for 12-4 with DeMarco Murray rushing for 1,800 yards. They've got the best line of football. I think by drafting Elliott, they acknowledged they made a mistake letting Murray go. Their team collapsed last year. Now they got their running game back up and running. This kid is special. They want to compare him here to Emmitt Smith. There's no comparison because this guy has closing speed that Emmitt lacked. If Emmitt broke free, he'd run down. He'd have a 60-yard run and get caught behind. This kid doesn't get caught behind. He's the power speed package that Adrian Peterson was. My concern with Elliott, he's such a violent runner. He almost seeks out contact. And like Peterson, I think he's going to have injuries. And he may not have the 13, 14-year career that Marcus Allen or an Emmitt Smith had.
Goose, you've been critical of Jerry. Everybody has been, of the organization. Looking at it now, and if they were to go on this, miracle carpet ride down I-45, never having to leave Dallas, it looks as though that's the path they're on, that you'll have to come to Dallas and beat them one of 2 weeks in order to get to the Super Bowl, and they could go down to Houston. It would really be a testament to Jerry's loyalty to Jason Garrett, to the process of doing this, to his own son, the offensive line getting put together, the way the defense is played, but the Garrett thing, right? I mean, I'm in Baltimore, Goose. Garrett got on the plane with his wife. Bisciotti wanted him. You know how close Bisciotti and Jerry Jones have been over the course of years. And Garrett didn't take the job in Baltimore. He did stay down there as a coordinator. He did get the job down there. Things have worked out great up here in the Purple Kingdom. There's been no regret. But anytime Jason Garrett and John Harbaugh walk onto the field together, it does bring up that period of time where the Ravens wanted him, and probably with good reason. He's a hell of a football coach, right?
Yeah, and the Cowboys, it's a pretty good gig down here. The Cowboys are number one. There's no one even close to being second in this league.
Not even Dirk Nowitzki.
Mike Zimmer was offered the head coaching job at Nebraska, which would have been a pretty good gig back then. And Jerry convinced him to stay on as defense coordinator of the Cowboys. Jerry will pay what it takes to keep these people. He did it with Zimmer. He did it with Garrett. And I thought Garrett, there might have been a wink-wink agreement that, you're going to be the next head coach here, so don't leave now. It's hard for people that have success to leave here because this is America's team. This is the most valuable sporting franchise in the world. This is the highest profile position you can have in the NFL. And if there's a chance you can be the head coach, you're not going to Baltimore.
give the Ravens any chance to beat the Cowboys this week? I mean, certainly the Cowboys, as much as they're 8-1, certainly beatable, and Pittsburgh had them beat. Philadelphia had them down. That's something to be said for a young quarterback to sort of hold his water at that point, especially in Pittsburgh on Sunday. I was impressed by that. But the Ravens are playing okay right now and getting healthier and getting better. The problem with the Ravens right now is the offensive line remains in tatters, and as Luke and I have talked about it all week, probably going to remain in tatters throughout this engagement. They're not going to have the offensive line that Ozzie and John envisioned all summer long. That's not going to happen in 2016.
Well, the good news for the Ravens is the Cowboys do not have a great defense, and they may not even have a good defense. What's winning for this team, and this is exactly what they saw the script being when they drafted Elliott. They want to run the ball, control the clock, protect the quarterback. They thought it was going to be Romo, but it turns out to be Prescott, and also protect this defense. There are no great players in this defense. There are good players. There are a lot of spare parts, but the less they play, the better they play. This team is playing 27 minutes a game on defense, and they're not tired out. They're not being worn out, and they're generally playing in a lead. There's only one player on the whole depth chart that's ever been to a Pro Bowl, and that was Sean Lee. And he went last year as an injury replacement. That's the weakness of this team. And right now they're missing half their starting secondary. Mo Claiborne was their best cover corner. He won't be here. Barry Church, their strong safety, run type player, he won't be out there. So you can expose this team if you can protect your quarterback. They don't have much of a pass rush. If the Cowboys' whole plan is keep away, keep the other offense off the field and protect their defense. That's why they're winning.
And I guess part of this, too, is they're in a difficult division. I mean, all of those teams have proven to be capable in that division. They're not going to go 15-1, Goose. I mean, I've looked down the schedule here. They got, rough go. Now, look, the Ravens got to go up to New England. They got to go to Pittsburgh. They got to go to Cincinnati, although that's looking a little easier. But this doesn't get easier for the Cowboys. And they got the Redskins coming in on Thanksgiving. Then they got to go up to Minnesota and deal with Zimmer. They got to go out to New York and play the Giants. They still got to go to Philadelphia. They're going to lose a couple of more games. But over in the NFC, 13-3, 12-4 is going to make you a 1 seed.
Yeah, and they're looking at Seattle. That's the team they feel they have to beat. Who'd have thought the NFC East would be the power division in the NFL? Back in August, we were saying 9-7 may win this division. Now here, they're all competitive. And the thing is, I've seen it the last 20 years. The Cowboys are most dangerous when they start thinking they're pretty good. That's when they become vulnerable. And these next 3 weeks are going to be interesting with the Ravens, Washington, and Minnesota. They could easily lose 1, 2, even 3 of these games. I don't see it, but I can see them losing during this stretch. Now, what Baltimore has, they got that big physical defensive front seven. And this is going to be a great matchup, the best running team in the NFL versus the best run defense in the NFL. I said Elliott was special. They played the Packers in Green Bay, and Green Bay came in with the number 1 ranked run defense, and he put 157 yards on them. What makes him different is he's going to have a 70-yard run. He can pump that 100-yard game up to 170, 180 very quickly with a long run. He had an 83-yard screen pass touchdown last week against Pittsburgh. So if the Ravens can contain Elliott, they can win this game because the Cowboys' defense isn't going to win it for them.
Goose, you were there during all the crazy times, and Aikman and Irvin and Jimmy and all that stuff. And there's always been this sort of black cloud and pigpen thing about the Cowboys and Jerry and it being larger than life and all of that. And yet they've seemingly this week handled this quarterback controversy in a professional manner, and there's got to be a lot of relationship there with Romo and Witten and Jason Garrett and Jerry, who puts Romo on the private plane and all of that stuff. This could have been a lot sloppier, right? I mean, just in the noise level in a detrimental way to the team, and it might be if Prescott goes out and throws a couple interceptions and they lose on Thanksgiving ugly to the Redskins, then I guess the controversy bubbles back up again. But as long as Prescott keeps this thing calm and they keep winning, there is no controversy. But we started talking about what happens to the Cowboys when Romo comes back in September, and what happens when Romo comes back is it was relatively calm this week, given what the Cowboys want to do, which is usually there's controversy. There's a mess there somehow. This was the least messy turnover I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, you go back to 2001 when the Patriots decided to stick with Brady. At that time, he was 5-3 as a starter, and he had a 4-interception game. He had a bad game. There was probably more noise around that move to stick with Brady, not Bledsoe, than here, because this team is 8-1. This team, this quarterback has helped this team become 8-1. He's not been an obstacle in the winning. He's triggered the winning, in fact, with both his arm and his legs. So it was a slam dunk, and Jerry is very keenly aware of public opinion, public perception. And over the last month, it's been building here that you can't sit Prescott, no matter what. This is a very strong Romo town, but it became obvious to everybody here, you can't sit a kid that's 8-1, that's not making any mistakes, that's doing things you want Romo to do and doing them better. Now, this has been very tough for Witten, who's his best friend, Jerry Jones, the owner, and Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett has flown to Duke with Romo to watch Duke basketball games. They went, Romo, Witten, and Garrett went to Houston to see an NCAA, I think it was a regional game involving Duke. I mean, these guys are best friends. Garrett's almost too close to the players, and this had to be very tough for him and very tough for Jerry Jones because he spent a lot of money on this quarterback to win a Super Bowl. He's got $113 million tied up in this kid, and he's not going to get return on his investment now. And I think at the end of the year, Romo has to move on because of the salary cap. This is the one chance you had to clean up your cap. You got a rookie quarterback, a starting quarterback making rookie money. This is the year to clean it up, and it's going to be a big hit. There's about a $20 million hit when Romo leaves the roster, but you have to do it this year, and I think he's probably playing for a contender next year.
I got a prediction. This is, and you can come back and laugh at me, and I'll see you down in Houston. Tony Romo has not thrown his last pass as a Cowboy. As much as we're shoveling the dirt on him right now, and the press conference, and it's all calm, I just don't think we've seen him throw his last pass as a Cowboy.
Well, let me say this: if this team is sitting there at 13-2, going into a meaningless finale in Philadelphia against the Eagles, do you play your starting quarterback or do you play your backup?
I don't know. It's a special situation.
You play Romo.
Okay, fair enough.
Romo's going to play the last game if this team is as good as it thinks it is. If it's sitting there at 12-3 or 13-2 or whatever, historically you sit your starters in the finale, and Romo would play there. And this was what happened in San Francisco when Steve Young became the quarterback of the 49ers. Joe Montana played in the finale, showcased that he still had it, and was traded to Kansas City the following offseason. So it's not unprecedented for a player of this type of caliber to basically get the garbage snaps.
Last thing for you, Goose. We got the first place Baltimore Ravens coming in. I like to say that. But certainly the Steelers and the Bengals, AFC North ain't what it used to be, right? And you've seen this a long time, and the pendulum always swings. But we're used to, first off, being the chaser, not the chasee. And there's always some team that's 7-2 or 8-1 or 10-2 or whatever it is in this division. That's not the case in this year. And, Pittsburgh looks like a shell, and certainly Cincinnati looks lost at this point. 9 wins is going to win the AFC North, and the Ravens have put themselves in a pretty nice position here despite having a really, really tough schedule down the rest of the way.
No, because they are the best team. They are the best team on the field and on paper. I was shocked at how far the Steelers defense has fallen to see what the Cowboys did against them. And you got 45 seconds left. You move length of the field. It's like a knife through a hot knife through butter. I couldn't believe how inept the Steelers were on defense. That's not the same team that we've seen. They've got offensive weapons in Roethlisberger, Bell, and Brown, but they can't stop anybody. And you're right, the Bengals are in complete disarray. I mean, they've already lost more games than they lost all of last season. I think this division is the Ravens to win. And what the people in Dallas ought to remember, Ravens never lost to the Cowboys. They're 4-0. And they closed up Texas State in that last game and ran all over them. I think they had 2 backs over 100 yards.
Willis McGahee is still running toward Fort Worth, from what I remember that night.
Yeah, so I wouldn't look past the Ravens. I mean, John Harbaugh is a good coach. That's a talented team, talented quarterback. They've got the weapons. Like I said, the Cowboys secondary is kind of thinned out. Mike Wallace can beat you deep. Steve Smith always gives his team fits. I expect this to be a very competitive football game on Thanksgiving.
Rick Gosselin, longtime voice of sports in Dallas, as a columnist at the Dallas Morning News. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at Rick Gosselin. That's 2 S's, ELINDMN, and it's SportsDay, DFW.com out on the web. Goose, used to be a time where you were the only thing that I liked in Dallas, but the whole Dirk Nowitzki thing has sort of opened my eyes. We had a sort of a wonderful week of chasing the woeful Mavericks around, and of course we chased Nowitzki out to L.A. and Oakland. He wound up not even making the trip, and then in New York came through before the game on a night that he did not play. Matter of fact, when he met our guy Niels, it was outside the locker room. He was getting razzed by all of his teammates as they went out onto the court at the Garden without him. He's a larger-than-life figure down in the Big D as well. What a good guy. And, for the Mavericks to come through and Mark Cuban, I would say Jerry's probably raised the bar there for all the franchises and all the college teams down there for what they have to compete with, right?
Yeah, the last several months there's been discussion if you built a Mount Rushmore in Dallas, what four faces would be on it. And with all the great players the Cowboys have had over the years, Dirk Nowitzki would be one of the four faces on that Mount Rushmore.
Well, let's say who are they then? Would that be Staubach, right?
Landry, Staubach, Nowitzki, and then it's up for grabs. It could be Emmett Smith, Tony Dorsett. Just pick a Cowboy, any Cowboy.
Aikman?
Mike Madonna would be in the mix. Be a highest scoring American hockey player in history. But you'd have the three automatics, or Landry, Staubach, and Dirk, and then pick your fourth.
All right, well, we'll be down there hoping to pick a winner on Sunday. Early game down there in the Dome. Last thing, Goose, we got a lot of people from Baltimore going down to Dallas for the first time, going to Jerry's World for the first time. I was there. It was a great day because the Steelers lost the Super Bowl, so I enjoyed it immensely despite the weather sucking in Dallas that week. Some thoughts about the stadium, what people need to see. Seriously, I mean, if you're coming down there, we have so many people. I know they're going to be tailgating and drinking and whooping it up in the first place Ravens and all, but that stadium is its own sort of, you got to get there early and walk around a little bit, right?
Oh, without question. I mean, they've got over $1 million worth of artwork in the lobbies alone, in the corridors alone. It's that the big screen TV is something to be seen. I think most people that come will end up watching the TV more than they will what's on the field, because it's so much bigger. You can see the players sweating on that big screen. You can't see them sweating on the field. And I think you'll be surprised how many Baltimore people are there. This is a 90,000-seat stadium, and a lot of the Cowboy fans will sell their tickets to teams coming in.
Even at 8-1.
Oh, even at 8-1, because the tickets are so expensive here. What you see is most season ticket holders, I'd say a lot of them, they'll keep 5 games. They'll sell 3 games, usually to the high-profile teams, and those 3 games they sell will cover the cost of their season ticket. So that's one of the problems the Cowboys have had since they moved in here. They haven't really had a home field advantage, because when teams come in, when the Saints came in, when the Texans came in, the Patriots, the Bears, the Steelers, it seemed like a third to half the crowd was pulling for the road team.
Yeah, they never get 90,000 Cowboy fans. It's
right.
70-20 or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah, and like I said, you'll be surprised how many people are cheering for the Ravens there.
Well, no, I won't.
The Bears won. The Bears won a couple years back. You'd thought we were in Chicago.
Well, I hope it feels like that around 3 o'clock Central on Sunday. Goose, we'll see you at the game on Sunday. Always great having you on. Tell everybody about the Talk of Fame Network, too. We run your programming here on Sundays from noon till 2 every Sunday, and you guys get together with a bunch of cool people and have incredible conversations with legends of the game, yeah?
Yeah, I got Jason Taylor on this week, Hall of Fame semifinalist.
Well, and there's a lot of that going on, too, and this is the time of the year. Who's on the ballot this year? Who's getting in the Hall of Fame? I know we're still a year out on Ray Lewis, right?
Yeah, and both Lewis and Urlacher are on the same ballot. That'll be interesting. Tomlinson will be the first ballot guy. I think it may be time for the Kurt Warner gets in. A lot of talk about him. Jason Taylor is on the ballot. Ty Law. Somebody on the Patriots has got to go in the Hall of Fame besides Brady.
Who are some holdovers that have done well that haven't gotten there?
Joe Jacoby. I'd be surprised if Jacoby doesn't get in. Jacoby's the guy that had some momentum last year. His candidacy was resurrected. I'd like to see Mike Ken of Atlanta get a longer look. Carl Mecklenburg, great defender on that Orange Crush defenses in Denver. His career has been resurrected. I'd like to see some of the guys that have waited a long time that are deserving. to get in, and those would be a couple good names for you.
Goose Goslin, he'll be one of the guys in there fighting for all that at the Hall of Fame. You can follow his journey at Rick Goslin, DMN, out on Twitter, as well as Sports Day, DFW, and the Dallas Morning News. You can find me out in the Bayou Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device, including Dallas and Fort Worth and anywhere in Texas, by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We come in crystal clear. You can listen to what you want, when you want, where you want, how you want. It is the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault. Our morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. That is powered up by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. Still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life and avoid that eggnog and the pumpkin and the leftover turkey and the dressing and the cranberry and all that good stuff you're going to be gnawing on next week as you watch the Cowboys and the Redskins play on Thursday. Breaking news happens first on the WNST text service. That is brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis is here on Thursdays, driving you home from 3 until 5 with the SSV on WNST. Monday night, we'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the Oakland Raiders, my Raiders, as some have said, and Jack Del Rio take on the Houston Texans. We got our best seat in house promotion, our limo, courtesy of Fully Loaded Transportation, and of course the Blazing Wing Eating Challenge. Every Monday, we're at Buffalo Wild Wings in Owings Mills, having some fun. I'm getting a salad and some wings and some nachos as well, so come join me. I'm Nestor, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on Facebook Live, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Taos in Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.